One of my favorite cookout foods, for me to cook personally or to eat other places, are ribs. Most times I have to do it myself because of the amount of sugar in a lot of those barbecue sauces. But I've got a barbecue sauce recipe that I do, and while I like to smoke them sometimes, I have a super easy and convenient method that I like to do and my family absolutely loves. It's super fast and easy. It doesn't require any smoking. So you don't have to worry about wood, you don't have to worry about the weather outside if you're trying to have a cookout and then all of a sudden you get hit with one of those summer rains like we get. And even though we're not smoking these low and slow, they're still gonna fall off the bone. Oh man, they're absolutely delicious. You're gonna love them. So let's talk ribs right after this. So you're probably thinking, Victor, how in the world can you get fall off the bone ribs without cooking them, without smoking them low and slow for hours? Well, I'm gonna show you. This method is super easy. It uses my dry rub and my barbecue sauce, so I'll link both of those videos somewhere around here, definitely down in the description. That way you've got a quick and easy rib recipe. Even if you had planned on smoking them outside, and then all of a sudden there's a thunderstorm or rain, or you just run out of time, you can do it this way and they'll still come out absolutely wonderful. And with the rub and the barbecue sauce, nobody's gonna know they're low carb. Shh. So let's get in the kitchen and put together these ribs. Oh man, I'm excited to show you this. You may never go back to smoking them again, and you definitely won't go back to doing them in the oven again after this. So let me show you what you need to put together some beautiful ribs. The first thing you're gonna need for this quick and easy rib recipe is some ribs. And I love using pork baby back ribs. I get them at Sam's Club. I find the prices there are the best, but a lot of times you can find them on sale at your local grocery store around the major grilling holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, things like that. And this is 2 full racks, or about 5.5 pounds. The next thing you're gonna need is some good filtered H2O. You're gonna need water. You're gonna need 1 cup of water specifically, and we're gonna add that in a little bit to our Instant Pot. Now this is the Mac Daddy Instant Pot. Now I'll put a link down below to this one if you don't have one already, but it's the big one. I mean, you're cooking 2 full racks of ribs in this bad boy, so it's gotta be big. The next thing you're gonna need is my rib rub, and I'll put a link up above and down in the description so you know how to make my rub. It's an essential part of this. It makes it delicious. Also, you're gonna need my barbecue sauce, and I'll link it down in the description as well, or just use your favorite barbecue sauce if you don't feel like making it. But this one is absolutely phenomenal in this recipe, and it's real easy to make. You're also gonna need some apple cider vinegar. You don't have to get the raw one filtered if you don't have it on hand. If you got the regular kind, it'll work fine, but this is all I buy. The next thing you're gonna need is some liquid smoke, and I like this hickory one, but whatever kind of liquid smoke you like will work just fine in this. It's gonna add that smoky flavor without the smoker. Now we're gonna take our ribs and pat them dry with a paper towel, or you can use a regular towel if you want to, but it's very, very important that you dry these off. This is gonna have a dry rub on it, and the dry rub needs to be dry. It doesn't need to be wet and get soaked into this. So in order for this to turn out right, make sure you don't skip this step. Dry your ribs off really, really well, and then the rest of the recipe is gonna take care of itself. And now that you've got the ribs nice and dry, it's time to go on top with the dry rub. Now, if you make the dry rub recipe that I'm gonna link up there for you and down in the description, it is enough for these 2 huge racks of ribs. So that rub recipe will take care of about 5.5 to 6 pounds of ribs, or any other meat you like. And don't be skimpy with it now. Make sure you put plenty on there. And then once you have that, it's time for the spa treatment. Oh man, just give it a little rub like that. It'll appreciate it, and it'll thank you later. So don't be afraid to give it a little Swedish massage, or you know, the karate chop technique. Hey, whatever works for you. Just rub it down real good. Make sure you get that dry rub all in. And if you have any spots that's missing the rub, just add the rub to it. to get it really nice and coated. And now that we've got that one side completely coated, it's time to flip these bad boys over and do the other side. Now, you've got this white membrane on the back that some people like to take off, but it's full of collagen. I leave it on there. It comes out just fine, but if you do want to take it off, just take a butter knife and put it up under it like that and peel it back. You can take it off if you don't like that, but I'm telling you, the collagen and the good benefits far outweigh. But you just take the butter knife, stick it up under there, and it's easiest if you take a paper towel, grab onto it, and then peel it all the way back. That's the easiest way to do it. It helps you keep your grip, but I don't recommend it. So we'll go ahead and put the rub all over the other side of these ribs, get it nice and coated. We're gonna rub it in also, and then we're gonna be ready to cook this bad boy. Oh man, would you look at that? It looks good enough to eat already, but I sure wouldn't recommend it because this is gonna be quick and easy. I definitely cook these first. So we're gonna take our Instant Pot, put it down, and put the little base with the handles inside. This keeps it off of the liquid that we're going to put down in the bottom, so it just steams. And it's also going to help you pull the full racks out at one time if you want to pull out the full racks. Normally I'll just kind of break them apart after I get done, but put these in a perfect circle around the outside, and you can add your liquid first, but I'm going to go ahead and add it in now. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my cup of water and put it in. And once this Instant Pot is under pressure, this is going to provide the steam that cooks these ribs and makes them absolutely delicious. The next thing I'm going to put in is the apple cider vinegar. Now you're going to go in with 3 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar inside that cup of water. And like I said, you could put this in before you put the ribs in, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Then we'll go in with some liquid smoke. And I use a teaspoon of the liquid smoke. You could do 2 if you like it a little bit smokier. I feel like this adds a good smoky flavor to it, but it's up to you, whatever you like. You can do a tablespoon if you want. And then I just take the other rack and I'm going to put it right around the other side. So now we've got a perfect circle of ribby goodness. Oh man, a perfect pork circle. Now we're going to take the Instant Pot, go ahead and put your lid on, twist it into place and lock it. And we're going to go in for high pressure for 25 minutes. Now if you like cooking out or cooking in and you want to do it the keto way, hit that subscribe button down there and the bell next to it. And anytime I do a new video, outside or inside, you'll know about it. Now all you have to do is put it in the 25 minutes and leave it alone. It'll say on and you know it's cooking. Once it gets down to these zeros like that, we're just going to leave it alone for 5 minutes. Now if you forget about it, you can go up to 8 minutes, but 5 minutes really for 5.5 pounds is optimal. Then we're going to go in and just flip this switch down, and basically what that does is releases the steam manually. And you can leave it alone for some recipes like my boiled peanut recipe, but for this we want to have a manual release just to make sure that these don't overcook. And once that pin drops down like that, down inside, then it's safe to open it. So you'll just go ahead at that point and take the lid off. Oh man, look at that. You see how that meat just pulls away from the bone just like that, where you can see it? That is perfect. You don't want them to completely fall off the bone, so the 5 minutes is perfect. I left them for 8 just to show you that if you do it just a little bit too long, it's still going to be fine, but it pulls apart just a little bit easier. Basically with a good rib, you want it to stay on there, but be super tender when you get ready to eat it. Now, I like to pull these out like this anyway, just to fit them on this tray, because I'm putting them on a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil. And for the last step, we're just going to cover them with a beautiful barbecue sauce, and then I'll show you how to finish them. So just take your barbecue sauce. I just like to pour it on the ribs, and you can either use like a silicone brush like what I'm using. You can use a mop if you want to. Whatever you've got that can get that barbecue sauce evenly distributed over these ribs, because the last part of it is we got to get that barbecue sauce nice and crusted on there so that it just makes a complete, beautiful rib. And after you got both sides completely smothered with that barbecue sauce, it's time for some saucing music. Now what we have to do to finish these is put your oven on broil and let it heat up. Put your oven rack as high as you can up there, so it's only going to be about 6-7 inches from the top once you put these ribs in there. And we're just going to let them cook down just for a few minutes. Keep your eyes on them. They should be bubbling, and this is what they should look like when they're done. Oh man. You want a little bit of char on there? That's from that barbecue sauce. That's what I'm saying. If you make my barbecue sauce, they're going to come out absolutely perfect like that, and you're going to love them. The combination of that dry rub and that barbecue sauce together makes these phenomenal, and it's so super easy, anybody can do it. Now the way I like to serve these is just take a little rack like this, and my two favorite things to eat with ribs for any kind of cookout is my coleslaw. And I just realized I never released the video for the coleslaw. So if you want to see that, let me know if you want to know how I make my coleslaw. So I like to put just a little bit of that on the side, as well as some deviled eggs. Now I've got a deviled egg video coming out that's going to show you how to make deviled eggs several different ways. Hope you love it. And there you have it. Quick and easy ribs, a side of coleslaw, and some deviled egg. Hey, y'all let me know when you make these ribs and what you think about it. I think you can tell just by the video that they're absolutely delicious. And I'll put some more recipes over here that I think you're gonna like. Check out that playlist and you'll find a lot of other ideas that you're absolutely gonna love. Thanks so much for sharing these videos and all your comments and likes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.